Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It's the 12th of February. That's right. And we've got a special show lined up for you here with Up to the Minute. We are live at the HCCTV studios this morning. My co-host this morning is Dr. Lana Pagao, and she is live at the Northwest College. Good to see you, Lana.
Good morning, Todd. Doesn't it feel like we finally got to Wednesday? I don't know about you, but
This seems like a long week, and I'm a day ahead.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's exactly me
the next
too.
day.
Yeah,
I'm thinking today's Thursday, but
I'm doing the same thing. Maybe it's just that just wishing to get to the weekend faster.
I know, wishing to get to week. We can't make it come fast enough, but it's Wednesday, and it's great to have all of you with us. Of course, we're still in the midst of celebrating our 5th anniversary right now. And Lana, you were in the studio yesterday, so maybe that's why you thought today's Thursday, because you were on the air on Tuesday, but you're normally on Wednesdays. Confusing.
Yeah. And that was great fun yesterday too. It was good to see everybody in person as well.
That's right. Most people don't realize all of our co-hosts, most of them do this virtually. So we don't get a chance to see each other in person that often. In fact, one of the co-hosts that was here yesterday, Lana, Randy Ramsey, I've never met her in person. I've only seen her online because she's hosted the show for a couple of years. And yesterday was the first time we saw each other in person.
That's amazing. And it's great that technology can help with that, especially, we talked about COVID yesterday and how it changed technology and how we communicate and interact with each other.
Well, it's good. It was good to have everybody here in person yesterday. We got some more guests joining us in just a moment to talk about our 5th year anniversary and their roles on the show. We want to thank all of you watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. Over 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, we launched the show live on Facebook, this version of the show, 30 minutes, and we're live every day, Mondays through Fridays when HCC is in session. And Lana, they can also catch us in social media anytime and on our cable channel as well.
Yeah, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So, Lana, you've got a guest coming up, and we're going to introduce her right now. We're discussing HCC Southeast Brunch and Learn sessions. Claudia Macias is Assistant Director of Brain Builders and the Hackett Center for Mental Health. Good morning, Claudia. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you. Good morning. And thanks for having me. I'm excited to share what's going on over at HCC Southeast.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking with you. So stick around. Lana will be with you in about 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to continue celebrating our 5 years on the air in this version of the show with 2 members who've been around here for a little while. They're behind the scenes, so you normally don't see them. We're talking about Jim Moran and Carlos Villamediana, and they both play integral roles behind the scenes at HCCTV. Of course, Jim, we'll get to you in a second, but Carlos, you started here as a student, correct?
Yes, correct. When I was taking my internship class, I just, like any other student, I just started to send requests to every single person who could give me, that internship experience. And I ended up discovering that HCC has a TV station.
Yeah.
So that's, once I got the call to hey, would you like the internship? I was like, sure, that sounds pretty fun. I never imagined that I would work at a TV station. That was that idea never crossed my mind until I actually started there. Yeah, that's how I started. Once I got my internship, then I finished it. I learned a lot of stuff that I always grateful for. And then surprisingly, you guys offered me a job as a part-timer.
Yeah. You started as an intern. And this has happened with a number of our production members on staff. You started as an intern, went on to part-time, and then you're full-time now. And how long have you been here now?
I think it's 2 years and a half. Maybe?
2 years. Yeah. We remember when you started. So we try to keep the good ones around as long as we could. So it's good to have you on staff. I know you're usually behind scenes. So tell people your role that you usually play on Up to the Minute and what else you do around here.
You're right. This is my first time on this side on cameras. It's an interesting feeling because I'm always behind making sure that all the stuff that needs to works. And so as it goes for the stuff that I do at HCCTV, I sometimes kind of use the word jack of all trades.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. You do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I actually do a little bit of
Shoot,
everything.
produce, edit, but run cameras. But you also help direct this show at times,
Yes.
and then you direct a few other shows for us as well.
Yes, sometimes I help directing the topic. There's also Is Your Business,
Right.
which is another show made by Villamediana. And I think that by now, I've been the only person who has directed that show.
Yeah, you've been doing that on that since for quite some time. What's been your favorite thing you've done here so far?
Ooh, well, there's a lot of projects that I like a lot. There's the fashion show is one that it's pretty fun to do. It's a lot of stuff, but the end result is always pretty. It feels good when you get that big project just finished and people like it. There's also the Juneteenth special that we did last year.
Yeah, we're gonna nominate that for a Telly Award.
Which require us to like travel to Galveston, which I don't think I have ever gone that far on this job to record something. There's also Up to the Minute that we do always, and thanks to Up to the Minute, I learned how to use OBS on a live streaming capacity, which is also pretty good. There's also ones like So You Know, because you get to meet a lot of interesting people that are actually here in Houston doing stuff. And besides that, the packages are always fun to go from time to time. And well, it's always fun to work with all the stuff that we have here at the studio.
And and it's also, we need to mention that, you and Benji and Jim play a role in our board meetings, our graduations, and all the big events that we have as well.
You're right. The graduation is actually also
setting everything up.
Well, we was mostly setting up, but as somebody who graduated from HCC, I kind of had both the two experiences, graduating and then working on them. And it feels really good, seeing all these other people doing the same thing that I did, and those are times and the moments that you are in college, trying to just get everything together and finally graduate with a degree, sitting where I know it's a really fulfilling experience.
Well, it's good to have you on board. Glad to see we can, get our students involved in what we're doing and keep them around. We do try to keep them around. Jim Moran's been with us for several years. And Jim, what first brought you to HCCTV?
Well, I was at South Texas College of Law for about 12 years, and I got laid off. So I was looking for a new gig, and I ran into you. At the grocery store.
Yeah. We've known each other.
We've known each other for a while, and you knew that I do video and radio stuff. So that's really how it happened. Is you invited me to come down and take a look at the place, and I've been here for about 8 years now.
Yeah, and Jim and I, we went to high school together.
It's true.
We did. We went to high school together. We were in drama classes together.
That's right.
And we've known each other. We hung out in the 80s several times, before we worked together. So we've had a bit of a history. You've done several things since you've been on board, but tell us a bit about your history, because I know you were involved with radio, particularly with KPFT for many years.
I was on KPFT as the music director and on-air host for a few different shows. That was great. I'd always wanted to be on the radio, from an audition at, if you remember, a place called Columbia School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Well, I went and auditioned there, and my dad was nice enough to take me. And, they put a microphone in front of you and have you read a script, and then they tell you, like, oh, you're great, and then they tell you how much it's going to cost. And I just thought I could do that. I could do that, but I'm
not paying $50,000 for it. Yeah.
And my friend Bondi was doing a late night show on KPFT, so she invited me to come down and co-host with her. And then she had to move away to Colorado, and she asked if I would like to take her show over. So I did. And that's when I started late night at KPFT and eventually did drive time several years later.
At KPFT, I don't know if Jim remembers the story, but I used to work in the music video world. I worked for a music video network here in Houston. And Jim called me one day, and we were going to get together. And he said, come see me at KPFT. We're having a donation drive. And I said, okay. And he goes, so yeah, bring like a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer down there. So I did, I brought it down there, and I'm just hanging around at the radio station with him, and they're doing stuff on the air and stuff like that. And we had a good old time, but that was quite some time ago. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. Well, you were on TV and I was on the radio. So we pretty much could get into any concert for free.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Right,
many
they'd
times,
recognize you, but they might pick up on my voice occasionally.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a really fun time. And your hair was so long. And I think, if you don't mind me saying,
Yeah.
you smoked cigarettes.
I did, yeah. Back in those days. Well, it was the rock and roll lifestyle. We
was.
did everything. People thought we were in a band. We weren't. We just talked on TV, but they treated us like rock stars. So how could you live that down? Those were the days. And yeah, my hair was about halfway down my back then. Those were, yeah, got over that. But Jim, you've been 8 years, been here at HCCTV. Over the years, you've been here for some time. You saw when this show was launched.
Yeah.
What's been some of your favorite things that you did while you were here?
Oh, Food Without Borders is my favorite.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 13 episodes, a different cuisine for each type of cuisine.
And you had a big role in sponsorship for that show.
I did. Well, you asked me. I was thrilled to be at HCCTV, and you thought it was a good idea to get sponsorship for the show. And I thought about it. My friend that I worked with at the law school was at Direct Energy. So I called him and I said, we need underwriting for this show. Yeah. And if you remember, his name is Tarek.
Yeah.
And so he cut a check for $13,000, $1,000 an episode. And he liked it because he got to be to give a health tip.
Yeah, he did a health segment on the show. And that money, we presented it to the Board of Trustees, and it was used for student scholarships.
Right. So there was no downside. And when he got the clips made, he showed them to all the staff at Direct Energy, which is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you know. So that went all over. I think they're based in England. So everybody has seen that. And then they saw Food Without Borders as well.
Right.
So it was really he was happy. His company was happy. We were happy. The food was good at all the restaurants.
I know, you got to go and eat. And it was a great show. I was glad that we were able to do that. It was so intensive though, because it involved a number of staff members, and we really put a lot into the production of the show. Maybe one day we can revive it in a different form.
That would be great. It was a lot of work, but everybody really seems to like watching cooking shows.
Oh yeah.
And you know, Chef Hugo, he was so generous and so nice and so fun to shoot in his restaurant. I shot in 2 of his restaurants. Caracol.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my favorite show. But just doing helping the students when they're
because we get a lot of them through here. You were here when Carlos came through. When we were
and helping them with whatever they need help with, editing wise or going out on a shoot. Yeah, that's really rewarding. It really is, especially with. We have more international students than any other community college in the country.
We meet a lot of them coming through here at HCC.
So they're new to maybe not just America, but Texas, and helping them find their way around and get their footing and telling them that everything's going to be okay.
And it has turned out well, at least for these two. And we're grateful to have you both on board. And thanks for helping us get to this 5-year point.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Fun.
All right, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our show with Lana, who's got a very special guest. Stay tuned. We're back in a minute.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
And welcome back. We are moving on to Claudia Macias, Assistant Director of Brain Builders and the Hackett Center for Mental Health. Hello, Claudia. We are so excited to learn more about your organization. When we heard about this series you're doing at HCC Southeast, we just had to have you on. So tell us about the Brunch and Learn.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. But I heard all the connections to HCC, and I just wanted to share a little bit before we go into the brunch and learn what's going on out there. I'm a big believer that paths cross for a reason. And a while back, I met the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Fran Villagran Glover, over at a lunch and learn. It was about Latinas in higher ed at her campus. And I said, we need to talk. And since that was about a year and a half or about a year ago, and since then we've been talking, connecting, building community. And here we are. I shared with her brain builders, and she said, we need to figure this out. So she introduced me to Dr. Martin Perez and the dean out there. And we've been working to get this program out there to the students of HCC, because brain builders, that's what it's about. It's about, supporting those students that are parents that have little ones. And that's what we're doing. We're kicking off these workshops that have been designed for those folks that have little ones on the way. They're brain building, making sure that they're growing and developing.
Yeah. So what exactly is Brain Builders?
So Brain Builders, it's a program that is a series of workshops where we build a safe space for those that are either expecting a baby or already have a little one or a toddler running around at home. And we invite them to come to connect with other families, other parents, other caregivers, share experiences. And then they're led by trained facilitators. And what the facilitator does, we facilitate the conversation around 6 topics. And those 6 topics are about, what is brain building? What does that mean? What happens during that rapid brain growth from 0 to 3? And how can I support that? We talk about managing stress and how does that support brain building? We talk about building resilience. That's another topic. Another topic is developing language, creating a secure and healthy attachment, parental empowerment, self-efficacy. And we facilitate those conversations, and we tie it to the importance of why that's important to brain building. And then we also facilitate connection, because we want for families, for caregivers and parents not to feel that they're out there alone doing this work, because it is work and it is challenging to raise a little one. And then when you're a student, you're also raising yourself too, and going to school and building yourself. And that's what we're doing, is providing these workshops where they come together, they can bring their babies, their toddlers with them. We had one of our parents that was there last week. She, her baby got hungry, baby needed to be breastfed. Like, don't worry, take care of yourself, take care of your baby while you're connecting, and you're taking away some strategies and some tips and some connections with other families.
So can you tell us about the series of workshops you're conducting at Southeast College?
Yeah, so we just started. We kicked off with the first one, which was brain building. And now we have 5 more coming up. So every Thursday for the next 5 Thursdays, except for the spring break week, we're going to be there at Southeast Campus and at the Student Life Building from 10:30 to noon. And so we have a room 113 next to the game room there. You come in, we have it set up for you. The parents come in, the caregivers come in with their little ones. We actually have toys for the little ones. We tell them, hey, bring your refreshments, bring what you need. We'll have a couple of little things for you to nibble on. But, come together and let's, have these conversations. We also equip them with strategies and tips that we follow up with a newsletter. So whatever topic we're talking about, we also follow up with some information that they can take and they can read, or they can take and read on their phones. Because we know that nowadays everything comes through the phone, comes through an email, and a parent can easily look through it and say, oh, yes, I remember that strategy. Let me try that again.
I love the idea that as you're helping the child develop, you're also helping the parent manage that stress, because having a baby or a toddler, oh my goodness, that really is stressful. It's fun, but it's fun stress. So tell us who will be facilitating the workshops.
So right now I'm kicking it off. So I've been facilitating. So not only am I the assistant director of Brain Builders, but I also facilitate. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure is I am bilingual. So I was brought in to make sure that not only we're doing these in English, but also in Spanish. So right now we're doing them in English at HCC. And so I'll be there. I'll be there to receive the families, the parents. We always, also include caregiver. And we also say, bring your caregiver crew, because like you said, having a baby, having a toddler, it's a lot of work. You know, I wish I had brain builders when I had my little ones. I had two little girls back to back. They're only 13 months apart. I didn't even know what day of the week it was sometimes. Like you said earlier, what day of the week is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, did I take a shower? Whose turn is it to feed? Whose diaper needs to be changed? And so, you know, and I felt sometimes alone because I was a parent. I was considered a geriatric parent. I had my first baby at 34. And so all my girlfriends, they already had like 10, 12-year-olds. And I was out like, how do you do this? This is hard. And I used to be a teacher. I used to be an early childhood teacher. I did all the brain development, all that. I was a principal of an early childhood school. I said, I got this. But then when the kids showed up, I'm like, what? And I remember sitting in a closet crying while my two babies were strapped in their little stroller safely. But I just would sit in a closet and just cry because I felt like this. I'm like, I want to go back to being a principal. I think that was easier. And, you know, but then I was lucky. I also want to share that with Brain Builders. We share those moments too. As a facilitator, we also train other facilitators to do this as well, creating a safe space to be vulnerable. And I share my story because many times, you know, we're meant to think by the commercials we see or hear, you know, when the baby comes home and it's all cute and it's all, oh, look at that commercial. That the commercial is not real life. The real life is messy. So I always, you know, want to share that, you know, we want to create a safe space for those parents, those caregivers to say, this is a hard job and I need some help. I need to take care of myself. I need to make sure I'm okay, because if mom, dad, caregiver, whoever is there is part of taking care of that little one, if they're okay, then they can be a better brain builder. Because that's one of the things that happens a lot when our caregivers and parents walk away. They walk away saying, wait a minute, I thought you could tell me how to make my kid do certain things. It's about me. I need to know how to make sure I feel that stress and manage it. I need to make sure that I'm building resilience and building routines for me, because when I do it, when I manage my stress, I'm a better brain builder for my little one. And then they're going to pick up on it too. I'm like, yes. Many people ask us, Dr., what sets us apart from other programming or programs? Because, you know, I used to be a teacher and a principal and what have you. My goal was always to be a guide on the side. And that's what Brain Builders is, that we're guides, we're facilitating, we're helping you make connections to yourself
Right.
and with the information.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
what we want to do.
Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Oh,
We can just
no.
go on and on and on and talk about this. But thank you, Claudia Macias, Assistant Director of Brain Builders and the Hackett Center for Mental Health. And we will have all your information in our post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm
You're
looking forward to
welcome.
seeing more people come out.
So, and coming up after a quick commercial break, Todd and I will return with a few announcements and some news.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
We are back. You're watching Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. A few things happening across the district. One of them is a recovery webinar. HCC Counseling and Ability Services presenting Shadow Personal Battles. Addiction and Recovery. Dr. Roman Alvarez will be the featured speaker, talking to, it's open to HCC students, faculty, and staff, and shine a light on personal and cultural shadows that humans tend to disown or bury under the rug due to shame, guilt, and contempt. It's happening tomorrow, 1 to 2, Thursday, February 13th. It's virtual. We'll have some information in our post after the show. And Lana, we're going to be off on Monday, which is good.
Yeah, we are celebrating President's Day, which means that all HCC campuses will be closed to observe the day, and Up to the Minute will not air, but we'll rebroadcast best of episodes in HCCTV. So remember, no Up to the Minute next Monday, February 17th, and we'll return on Tuesday, the 18th.
Keep that in mind. Monday, holiday for us here at HCC. Of course, we have registration ongoing. Second start's underway. You can still sign up, though, for classes before the end of the semester. Make sure to go to hccs.edu/apply. Tomorrow, HCC Students Life will be here to discuss Black History Month presentation, African Americans in Labor. And later this week, Career Services. They're having another transfer affair. We'll talk all about it. Lana, thanks for being here today.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week.
And we'll see all of you tomorrow live at 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute.